So, Alex, you've been in the game for quite some time, both as a DJ and a producer. I think
I'm getting old, yeah.
aren't we all? But yeah, so you started off as a DJ, then started producing fairly soonish after, I think. How was the production? Yeah, like the process back in the day, like from actually producing. How did you start? How did you select your first label?
So for me, like, has been in the first part of that process has been super hard. You know why? Because I'm coming from the music, so I've been studying classical music for a long time, and see myself like put effort in electronic music. It was for me something new because it has nothing to do with the other, you know. The music is, like playing classical guitar is not the same that make like electronic music. For sure, it helped a lot, but I had to find the right way for using like my skills in music for getting them effective on an electronic music record. So that took me like, I have to say, 3-4 years. And I remember it has been like a process that has been like a kind of filter. So in the start I was really rough, and now I go straight to the target and I go straight to my goal. So that was the kind of process that I had during these years. So in the last 12 years, because my first release was in 2010.
Yeah, indeed. And has it changed, like, from how you first start to create a track to how you start
so
now?
The process is always the same. The process is like, I try to have the hook, the idea. So it could be a bass line, or it could be like a vocal, it could be like whatever gives me some emotion. And from there, I start like creating everything around, the hi-hats, the tops, whatever. So it's really important to have a sense of the record. Otherwise, I'm not interested. And the funny story is that, with years passing by, I've learned also this, for example. Maybe it's my personal vision of everything. Maybe it's not the common vision. That you have to just make music that you feel comfortable and that you think is going to be is going to be played for more than a couple of months. I'm not anymore focused on making music and processing my music just for a record. It's going to be released and then everybody's going to forget about it in 2 months. So I try to give a big value to the record, but sometimes, it's about taste, There is people that likes it and the people that doesn't like it. So, and the process starts with that, with the main idea, and then everything is like built around.
Yeah, and does your studio, how has your studio changed, basically? I'm assuming back in the day, everything was a bit more
I was losing so much
analog.
time. I was losing a lot of time before, yeah.
And now you're doing a lot more digital, or?
Now I go straight to the target. I go straight to the things that I know that are gonna work out for getting out the sound that I want. And I'm not anymore like before that I was spending 5-6 hours just like a process or something that was going at the same time with the same like pattern for a couple of hours. And I realized at a certain point I was losing time.
And I hear a lot from people, it's always hard to say, now the track is finished. For you, when is a track finished? When do you think, okay, this is ready to go, I don't need to change anything? And how do you then also go, like, who's actually going to receive this release? Where do I want this release to go? How do you choose the label?
The track is finished when I feel comfortable listening to. When I don't get annoyed, when I don't get bored from the record. When I can feel that the sound that I want to give, the shape is more or less there. And then I'm not really getting crazy about thinking about maybe this sound should be like 5 dB higher as a volume or like lower. But I go straight to the editing. The editing is really important. And when I listen to the record, then I don't make objections and I say, wow, it was so quick, it's so fast, the listening, then it's okay for me.
Nice.
The process is done, yeah.
And how did you choose your first label? Did you have like a list of labels that you wanted to release on, that you aspired to be on?
The label is chosen between me and the management, the team that we are behind, and it's really important to, the label is chosen also with the sound, what you want to release. If a track is more like melodic, tech or whatever, we try to give a value and a sense to the music. So we just go straight to the target, choosing people that we respect as a label, but also like you know, the owners of the label. They are sometimes friends, or sometimes there are artists that you really love and respect since many years. So it's everything about that.
Cici, you've been around as a DJ for quite some time, but producing is not new to you, but releasing music is new to you.
Yeah.
How was your process? How did you come about to be like wanting to also produce music?
I think, I think in this day and age, it's very, it's most DJs are also producers, and it's kind of a career that does seem to go hand in hand. There's very few DJs out there at the moment, in this industry that don't put out their own music. And I've always had such a deep love for music myself, and when I started to DJ, it was kind of a natural progression that I would always eventually then take the road to learn how to produce and to discover what was going to come out of me in that sense. And so I've been DJing for about 11 years, and in 2016, 17 maybe, one of those years, I went to Point Blank in London, and I did an Ableton course, and that was opened the doors to everything, I felt it didn't necessarily come naturally to me to be able to use a program which is also obviously so complex, but I think over the years with time and dedication, it brought me to last year, which was my first release, and
that's exciting.
The first of many.
Yeah, it's exciting. And did you have a vision of, what kind of sound you wanted to make when you first started out and then end up somewhere completely different?
I didn't have a vision. I'm still, even now, I feel in a very exploratory part of my career, and I'm open. I have many passions for many different styles of music and sound. So I definitely wouldn't say that I ever had one direct thing, like I just want to make dub techno or I just want to make acid house. I was always really excited and curious to be able to see how I could apply myself to any different style of electronic music or music. So to be honest, I was just very much excited to explore. I didn't have a definite outlook on.
Cool. And also, like, you didn't need to have like the tracks being played out, right? Like you only want to produce music for the club on the dance floor.
I think with the first release and things, you don't have as much experience in that field before. So for me, it was just about creating a record that I was happy with and that I felt represented who I was as an artist. And if people were going to play that, that would be great. But it wasn't curated just for a dance floor. It was created just as a piece of art.
And yeah, let's be honest. How long did it take for you to have, the first track that you thought was ready for releasing?
I mean, for me personally, I'm one of those people that maybe I need to be told, to stop, to press the stop button, because I could sit there for years and years and years and just keep fiddling around and should it be better this way? So I'm learning a lot now myself to understand when to let go and when to wrap it up and move on to the next. And, it's amazing because I've just had an EP come out last month on Me Records, and I remember kind of going over back and forth in my head quite a lot about certain elements of the tracks. And then my manager was very happy to hear that the day after it came out, I remember I called him, I was like, you're going to love this news. And he was like, what is it? And I was like, I've just listened to the EP from start to finish. And yeah, all those things I said before, nice. Forget it.
That's great. And Alex, for you, how long did it take until that your first record came out? So, like, how long?
Actually, it was a different time. When I started 11 years ago, 12 years ago, was much different. I mean, I didn't think about what's my first record. I just put out the records. I didn't ask about the label and whatever. Now I do that because I have already had successful record. They have been so good. They've been played a lot, like from big DJs until Tiesto. I mean, so many people. I was really shocked when I received this big support. Until last year with the record with Pete Tong was for me like a big honor to be with someone like Pete on the vinyl. I saw my name, wow, and it was different. It was you were not. I was not asking myself, oh, the label what. Now I think you have to be more focused on that.
Yes.
And this is what I do now. But in the start, I didn't think about it. I was just putting out music.
What did
Yeah.
you do with the first release that you had, the first physical
I wa-
release?
I-
Did you
physical-
remember?
Yeah, my first physical release was 2011. Was a vinyl label from Germany. They just made 300 copies, and for me, like the vinyl with my name there was really, I felt super good because you can see your work translate into something real. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, the future is it's like digital, and you Beatport, you do a great job with that, giving people to discover music 360 degrees. Also with this app, with for example, Originals is a great application for that. But I think it's changed. I mean, if you speak with an artist that has already been around for 35 years, he will tell you, I was 35 years ago. Maybe it was different from my story, because for
Yeah.
sure it's different.
And how has the success changed, or like the definition of success for you? Like, if you look back in the day, you had different criteria for a record to be successful than probably today.
Now,
How
yeah.
has that changed for
You
you?
know what I do? Like, I want to release music, and when I play, I feel comfortable with. So if I
You
want to
don't
do a
care?
live set, Alex Kennon, 1 hour and a half, and I play all my records, I have to feel comfortable from the first one to the last one. And I really, that's my focus right now.
But does it give you more kind of validation if you look at the sales numbers that you have, or DJ support, or the amount of Shazams that you get, or
No, it's
Clicks.
nice. It's nice to see the things, but it's not the main thing.
it's not that
I
amount?
have to feel good with myself, and then it's coming the rest, So when I do what I can tell you, because it's my process in the last 3 years, I have to tell you the truth. I have been discovering like music. I've been doing like until like indie dance record or whatever that I have there in my laptop. Because I felt to do that kind of music. Maybe it's not gonna go anywhere, but you have to do music when you feel to do music. No, you don't have to take it as a job. Otherwise, you can be lost in a big labyrinth without understanding where is the exit. So you have to feel inspired about it. Maybe when I was a little bit, like 10 years ago, I was just doing it. Let's do it. I was there, like, I remember when I started, my box was called Box 25, was agriculture, like tractors, people going there, and was like in the box with boxes on the walls for the sound. That was totally different life, It was a different life. So now everything is evolved, and there's another kind of process.
What about you, Cici? What is a successful record for you?
What would a successful record mean? Like, I guess what would make it successful to me? I mean, a successful record for me would be one that was signed to a record label that I really liked. And
What's your dream label?
A dream label, Warp, or Dial, or Clone. One of those would
If you're
be.
listening,
Yeah, if you're out there, hit me up. I think, and also maybe, playing DJs that I admire playing it, people enjoying it. I mean, even now it's crazy to see, Kevin Saunderson has added one of my tracks to his playlist on Spotify, or kind of music have, and that to me is just like, what? Kevin Saunderson has put my track in his playlist?
Congratulations.
Wow. So these kind of things to me make it feel like, this is successful. It's not necessarily about exactly how many streams it's had or how many sales it's had. It's getting the nod or getting that appreciation from people that I really admire and respect. That means the world to me.
Great. And about both of you are, successful DJs, playing out a lot, having residencies. Do you ever test out your tracks? Is that something that you regularly do? Like when they're maybe ready, not quite ready?
Me personally, I'm actually quite funny about. I don't play a lot of my tracks in my sets, and I am going to get better at this. Just because it's at the moment, I feel like the productions that I make are kind of a place that I am or how I'm feeling at that time. And when I'm going or playing in the club, I'm completely, it's kind of a different side of me. You know what I mean? You might meet a different Cici in the studio artistically than you will behind the DJ booth. So I'm really going to focus on merging those worlds now going forward. But not so often do I test out. That's the true answer.
It's my turn
What
now?
about you? Yes.
It's your turn. It's my
I
time.
don't produce, I don't DJ,
I know, I
so
was trying to kid a little bit.
sorry. No
so
insights.
yeah, for me it's fundamental to play the records because make myself to feel like the crowd. And I always say, I'm where I am thanks to the people, to the crowd that comes to listen to my music. And if I make the people happy with my music, I feel happy too. So it's a kind of a connection of the energies for that. When I play my records and it's successful on the crowd and on the dance floor, and I can really understand if is needed like a tweaks on a record or there is something that is not working. So it's fundamental for me.
Yeah, so you do change basically if like the people don't
Because
react
the
in the way
approach,
that you think they should. You do actually go back and change the track.
Because from the studio to the club is totally different. I mean, also the sound system is totally different. So you need something that is working in the studio, but also in the club or in a festival, whatever.
Yeah, and yeah, let's speak a little bit about how you first started off in the studio. What was the first kind of gear that you bought, or like what do you say to the people out there, like what's the first step that they need to do? What's the
Yeah, well, I guess it would be choosing your DAW or what kind of program that you want to use to learn how to produce and engineer the music would probably be your first step. And then out of that, I'd say a controller. I mean, I absolutely do love analog synthesizers and drum machines, and I was very lucky in the start of my production journey that I had a lot of close friends with an amazing collection of them. So I was getting, lent these incredible pieces of kit on rotation for months at a time just to be able to figure my way around it, and that was really, really kind of amazing for me. But I don't necessarily think that that is vital to what you need. It's obviously a plus to be able to have these beautiful machines, but really realistically, if you have the vision of what kind of music you want to make or exactly how you want it to sound, all of that is achievable within the program. But I have just recently bought an Ableton Push 2, and I'm obsessed with it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. It's like my child. I look at it every day when I wake up and just think,
We have been buying like milk before for him.
yeah.
For it, yeah, I was with her. I did it for my machine. Okay. Sorry. So sometimes I need to kid a little bit. Sorry, guys. So about machines, for me, it's fundamental about the sound that you want to release. So I'm a really lover of old school people. I have friends producing from 30 years, and they are still in the cave there, producing for also for huge artists. And they say all the time, if you wanna get like old school sound, you need the machines. And the first, so it's analog. It's about how you want to make the track sound. If you want that dirty, it's possible with the laptop today because there are so many like plugins, so many things going on like around. But that kind of like the warmness. Sorry, it was not an orgasm. Was almost because I'm really lover about these things. And I think my first machine that I bought was a Roland MC. I don't remember the series, 505 or 303, MC 303, and it was a kind of joke for me. I was losing 3 hours per night, like a kind of was my laptop or my computer, video games. I was using this. I was, Mom, come here, look what I did. My mom, yeah, okay, stop it. Go to the school. And yeah, that was my first machine, actually. And now, as the world has changed, and life has changed, and people has changed, and music business has changed also, I think it's also smart to get a little bit the analog apart sometimes and use more like inbox stuff. But if you want the special needed, like the placebo record, you need like maybe I love, for example, the Prophet, Robert Smith 5, the 6 for getting out of it like huge sounds that for me I can find them anywhere. So maybe it's because I'm a maniac about that machine, so I can use the plugin. But on the plugin, I think 95% is maybe 90% the same sound. Mm. It's just about your vision as an artist. For the rest, I think you can do everything you want right now with a laptop or with inbox for sure.
And what is the best advice you've ever gotten, or what is maybe the advice you wish you would have gotten, you know, that you actually never did get?
From who or about?
From other artists, or
About
you
productions?
know, about production, or even about DJing. Maybe, you know, it can be either or.
I mean, the one piece of the best advice, I'm not sure. I think the best advice would have, you know, that I've ever got is just for people to maybe, I can be quite an overthinker, you know, or like, so I think I was always just, you know, given a lot of support from my friends to believe in myself and believe in, you know, believe in your vision, believe in where you want to go, and really, really hone in and focus on that. And to maybe, you know, for me, I think that when it comes to taking advice, and I have this, I do this with pretty much all the advice I ask for. I'll ask somebody what you know, they think about something, or I'll ask somebody, what's your opinion on this, or what should I do about this? Then when I get the answer that I like, I'll just select the bits that I like and take those, and I'll just trash the bits that I don't like. So with everyone that I'm asking for opinions on these, I'm getting all the little good bits of opinions from those, for the good bits of advice, and then the bits that, you know, you might not want to hear, you don't need to hear them. That might not work for everyone, but that's how I do it.
So tips about music life, about life from a good friend of mine, DJ. He said all the time, and I think is good also for life, this is like a marathon, is not a sprint, because this business can really get you high and get you super down, so you have to be prepared for everything. So don't get your career, your journey as something that has to be burned super quickly. So this is, I mean, it's a marathon. There are 42 kilometers to do, and there's a lot, I mean, in front of you, so just take it easy and try to be focused on your choice. You know, it's, and this is the thing that the tip that I always keep with me, and is helping me every day doing whatever. Now I'm working with for example, I really like, because with that kind of concept you also behave differently in your life. Also when you make music, when it's about productions and DJing. You respect people more, you don't want things like done super quickly, you try to be more patient, I would say. I'm a tornado, I mean, you know me a little bit more personally. I'm like super quick, like all the time, doing everything.
Lots of energy.
A lot of energy, sometimes it needs to be used in the right way. So that was sometimes we just lose energy around, and that's not good. And this is a nice thing, for example, now that I find in the process with collaborations. You know, I mean, collaboration is a good way for making you feel connected with people, at the same time making you feel that you are in the middle of this journey, of this marathon, what I was saying before. Now, lately, I'm working with the Haute Synthétisation record that we hope this summer, or maybe during 2022 is going to be out. And it's nice to see his vision and connect each other, and that was makes the journey like worth it. You know what I want to say.
And you've released on really big labels: Crosstown Rebels, Saved, Knee Deep in Sound, Spectrum, and you've had some pretty big tracks out there. Do you ever get basically intimidated by your own success? So, you know, like often it can happen, you've got like this big hit, and sometimes it's even a track where you don't think it's going to be the big hit, and then it blows up, and then you're kind of like, what's next? What's next to come? What do I do now? Like, people are expecting another big hit, kind of, so how do you deal with that?
So this is the problem. This is something really true that you're saying now. After that you do these records, your expectation, you think that the people's expectation is so high, and you don't want to release something that's going to be forgotten in 2 months. But it is also life. Sometimes it happens. You don't need to stop at the first try. You know, you have to go ahead and just retry. And this is what I do now. I don't get out a record if I don't feel 100% that it's going to be myself. Then if it's going to be successful or not, what is success? Can you tell me what is success?
Well, it's very subjective, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's objective in the sense if you say it's sales numbers, it's streams numbers,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
click, but that doesn't really necessarily mean anything, you know? We've all have seen also these hits that have all these numbers, but you kind of go like,
Exactly.
you know? So it's different for everybody.
For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. For that, I try now, like, I try to focus on deliver the sound that I really like, and then if it's gonna be successful, good. But yeah, for sure, I'm working for a successful record. That's true. But I'm not getting sick for that. I mean, I'm not like getting anxious and saying, I hope this record is gonna be good, at least like the before or better. You know,
Yeah.
just keep it easy, take it easy, and just let's go.
And have you, either of you, found a way to prolong, you know, the life cycle of a track? I mean, you know, it's sometimes, you know, it's like a cookie cutter, you know, everything is done in a certain way. You start with a DJ promo, radio promo, then it's out, you know, then, you know, it's Shazam, you play it in a club, you play it at the festival. But have you found like a secret way to, you know, keep a
if
record
I found
successful?
it and it was a secret, I was not telling you for sure.
Very good answer.
But I can tell you what is my vision. It's like now it's about social media. So for getting like a record bigger and longer during the time, you can use social medias for spread a little bit more the voice of the record and music through huge like colleagues or artists supporting the records out in big festivals. That gives you the chance to arrive to the ears of many more people than before. That's for sure.
Now, what about you?
Well, I mean, I feel like also, you know, there's so many other opportunities for, you know, records. They don't just have to like come out and make a big statement and make a big wow just then, you know what I mean? There's so much potential for things to kind of be rediscovered, or to, you know, there's even a lot of things with like sync these days, and, you know, music for film or music for all different kinds of things. It doesn't need to be just directly based on how it's done in the first 6 months of its release, you know. I certainly think that, you know, there's a lot of tracks that I might find from certain artists that I like that I didn't really know it might have come out when it came out, you know, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know this one came out, and it could have been, you know, maybe a year or two ago, and so that would be me discovering somebody else's record at a later stage and it having a huge impact on me. So I still think that is possible for your own records.
We're nearly at the end, so one last question to you guys. What are you currently working on?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
What are you currently working on?
So yes, now about music, right? Yeah, so...
Give me anything. If you have other side projects that we should know about,
No,
now's your chance.
I thought of working on my holidays. No, sorry, I'm joking.
Are we invited?
Yeah, sure, you know.
Apparently not.
I'm joking. Cut. So about music, so I'm just closed like an EP on Gnidipin Sound. It's gonna be out in August with the Originals² label, 2 original tracks. We are trying to find a good. I have like collaboration with College that is already done. It's 1 year that is quite big for us. We think it's a really strong record, and we are trying to get it signed somewhere, giving like the right house. And I'm working also. I got like with Black Books, also other things, and then working on other records. I mean, a lot of music during the last month. That's good. It's the only thing that makes me happy. It's good as a word.
It's very good.
You like it?
I like it very much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a bunch of things at the moment. I have just released an EP last month, so everyone go check that out. It's on Me Records. So I've got the next one on the way. Well, it's not necessarily finished yet, so I'm not going to speak 100% on it, but there's a label in mind and stuff like that, and the guts of it are there. I'm also working on a remix for Demi Riquismo. Sorry if I've pronounced his second name wrong. I'm also working on an app, an artificial intelligence app based on these music stems called AIMI or AIMI, which is really interesting. It's, you know, creating say 250 different music loops that are all within this kind of same key and tempo that will go into this artificial intelligence app that will kind of mash them all up together and then give you these new versions of your sound. So it kind of is going to show you, yeah, it's kind of, you know, going to present to you this journey of you as an artist, and that's quite interesting. And then, I mean, yeah, working on preparing for a lot of gigs. I'm absolutely flat out this summer, which is fantastic. And
Good
yeah,
problem to have.
it's a good problem to have. I didn't have that problem the last 2 summers, so I'm more than happy. And yeah, and tonight I'm actually playing here. I'm going to be closing the club, so anyone who is here, I'd love to see your faces later on. I'm going to be here
Sweet.
from 1:30 to 3 a.m.
Well, thank you so much for being
Also,
here.
I want to say something more. If you see Pete Tong somewhere, I have to finish the track with him also. So
We'll talk to him.
tell him to come here and to speak with him. I'm
We
joking.
will do.
Love you, Pete.
If there's any questions from the audience, we have a microphone, please.
Be nice, be nice.
Just a quick one. When you started out, how did you strike the balance between quantity and quality? Because one thing that I found is that it's very easy just to get stuck and fixated on ideas. And at the beginning of the process, there is a train of thought of just getting things completed so that you learn how to master the process. And both of you two had different, spoke about your different journeys. You said that when you first started, you was just getting stuff out. You weren't really worrying about labels and stuff, where you, Cici, you was talking about maybe someone having to tell you to press stop. So I just wanted to know, did you have that problem as well? Or is it, like, how did you strike the balance, if you get what I mean?
For me?
Both of you.
Okay, you start.
I think to strike the balance between quality over quantity, or to strike the balance between deciding when the track is done, is that what you mean?
Yeah, I'm not talking about releasing.
Yeah.
because that's a
Just in
total
the
different-
production sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like,
I mean, I would need to, I would need probably to get a second opinion sometimes for me, because I've got, you know, a lot of friends, excuse me, who are also DJ producers that I deeply admire. So I would bounce a lot of things off of my close circle, you know what I mean? And ask them what they think, and, you know, it kind of would go back and forth there a bit. It's hard for me personally to know when something's done, but I'm getting better at it. So if we do this interview again next year or the year after that, expect a completely different answer.
It's my turn, right? So you're speaking about quantity and quality.
yeah, not
So
not so much releasing, but
Okay.
just actually perfecting your craft.
Perfecting my craft is because, as I said before, as a musician, it was really hard for me to get my art inside electronic music, into it. And it took, like I said, 4 years. And in the process, I was just releasing. It was about quantity. I was just putting out. It was like a sort for me of energy being released. Not music, energy. But I told you, it was another time. 12 years ago, it was totally different. And you know, now I do the quality process. So it's about quality, and I send out to my friends, to other like successful DJs, and I ask them feedbacks, and they say, hey, I really like it, or I don't like it, you should. The good thing is that my process has been natural, organic, and I'm really proud of it. You know, it's about years. It's about get respect from the people through the years. You know, and you connect with them also because you became part of a family. You know, you became friends with some of them, and they are really giving you the feedback as if you are their brother or their best friends. You know, and this really helped me a lot right now, because I know if I send like to my friends or to a guy that is successful like DJ, touring DJ, and they say, Ale, I don't like this yet, it's a shit. I'm gonna think 5 times about it, because I really trust in him. And this is what happens to myself right now with this process.
That's funny, because if I really liked a track and someone said to me that they didn't like it, and I definitely liked it, I'd be like, meh, whatever.
The trick is don't send it to your family.
Yeah,
They
okay.
say, bomb, this is amazing, #1, and then nobody cares about, like, mom. Okay.
Oh my goodness, this is actually quite funny, because I remember when I started to make music, and my mom and dad had come home to visit them in Dublin, and they were like, sweetheart, play us one of your tunes. And I was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I put it on, and we were all sitting there, you know, and they were just, okay. About like 45 seconds in, they were like, it's great. And I'm like, Mom, it's a 7.5 minute long techno track. It hasn't even started yet. What are you talking about? There's just been a kick drum and a hi-hat, you know? But I just thought that was so funny that straight away they were like, it's great, you know? Trying to be supportive, and I'll just never forget.
Now I'm gonna say a funny story. Can I or no?
Sure.
You know that I like to speak, so you have time, guys? So we have dinner. It's 8:30 already. No. It's a funny story about family, because I remember about it. There is like an episode. I was making my family listening to some records, and the sub bass was switched off. So my grandma was on the sofa, and with my grandpa, I like it, because they thought it was like a kind of classical music, And then when I switched on the sub bass, it went, what is this? This is shit. Go away. I have like a take already. Go fucking away. It was like, okay, she doesn't like it. Nice. Fair enough. I go. Well, sorry guys for this
That's
personal episode.
Thank you so much. It was
Thank
really lovely
you.
having you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Make
much.
It. Thank you, Beatport. Thank you, guys.
To see everybody in person. And yeah, thank you. Please go and check out the Beatport app on the controllers that we have over here on the demo stations. And yeah, catch us in person later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Smashed it.